My body is my dwelling. Who are you to tell me? My body is a dwelling. Who are you to tell me?
It's Brian. I will keep this short, but I wanted to say a couple of things very quick. First off, thank you so much for listening. Void Signal just turned 3 years old last month and has surpassed over 100 episodes, and I've never been more proud of it. I love doing it very, very much, and I appreciate having an audience and people that are interested in it. So thank you. On that note, if you would like to help support the creation of more almost weekly ad-free Void Signal, you should consider visiting voidsignal.net, where you can find a link to the Void Signal Patreon, or you can find that over at patreon.com/voidsignal, and sign up for the Void Signal Patreon, which has hours and hours of content and goes a long way towards helping me do more of this. There's also Void Signal merchandise on there, updated with the newest logo and design, and there's a Void Signal tip jar, so you can leave a one-time donation if you would like. Thank you so much for your consideration and for allowing me to do my thing. It has been a pleasure. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for letting me get in here and plug my thing. I hope you're well. Stay safe, stay loud, and take care. Welcome to Void Signal. My guest is Lynette from Bestial Mouths, and what an honor it is to have you on the show. Let me just gush for a moment, if you would. I sort of went into a show you performed here in Sacramento at Harlow's with Sign and I Speak Machine on Easter Sunday, and caught the show and was floored, was blown away. I'd heard a couple tracks in the run-up to the show and was really excited and was just absolutely floored by your performance and presence and everything. And looking more into your work and seeing what you've done and listening to your catalog and everything, what a powerful direction and sort of artistic vision that you have for this. Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Wow, thank you.
But yeah, thank you. It is a pleasure. I've been enjoying your work very, very much. So I guess just sort of what I want to know is who are you and where did you come from?
That is a long story, I guess. I am Lynette, as we said. The band
Mhm.
originally started with me and my now ex-husband in Los Angeles, and he had been in various projects and done music through the years. And I had not. I actually have a fashion design background and an art background. So
Mhm.
I've done a lot of stuff with that. So it really kind of started with me performing where he was at a solo project and he was like, "Hey, do you want to help me?" And I'm like, "Sure." So the first
Mhm.
show I did, I sang in a mic for the first time in my life. Is probably god awful. And eventually,
Mhm.
we started doing that and I'd work on the lyrics and everything with him. And we
Sure.
used to have me play like one note bass lines and I would try to play instruments and stuff, but that's really not my skill. So
Mhm.
eventually he was just kind of like, you go forward and you do that. And we started Bestial Mouths when we moved to LA together. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's been my baby ever since.
Yeah. So just sort of you have adopted it very much. How much of And I mean, your background in art and in fashion definitely does, show all of the artwork and everything for the project. Looks fantastic. Um, Definitely helps set you apart because of that. How much of the music side of it have you taken over for yourself?
Well, right now, basically, like I work with Bestial Mouths is me and Brant Showers from Solve and Damon.
Mhm,
So he does a lot of the production side of it. I'm involved in all of the writing,
mhm,
and I just basically kind of tell them what I'm looking for and stuff, and we write it together, and I do all the lyrics and all the
mhm.
concept and the direction and everything.
Gotcha. And so this recent album is pretty fresh. I mean, I feel like the ink is still wet on it. It has not been out very long. Is blistering from start to finish. And was produced by Rhys Fulber, who excellent talent, fantastic talent to work with. How was that experience?
That was amazing.
Mm,
I was definitely very, very nervous. We
mm,
had spoken with Reese just, on the phone and everything too, as we sent tracks back and forth. And then we met in Los Angeles to record the vocals. And basically, we recorded 9 songs in 3 days. I was like, here you go. Never met you. Let's do this.
mm.
And so I was terrified, but it went really well. And Reese is super chill, super cool, super talented, funny stories. So it went well overall, I think.
Yeah, nice. And just ended up happening by happenstance, or how did that
We've
work out?
always been a huge fan of
Sure.
Reese's work and everything like that. And we started working with Negative Gain and GP, and we, throwing out ideas like how we would love to have a guest producer. And Reese's name got thrown out. So we're like, yeah, let's see what we can do. And so we
Mm,
contacted Reese. And luckily, I happen to know, and I've worked with a lot of people that personally know Reese. So
mm,
I guess he kind of mentioned it, and they were like, oh, yeah, no. Even one of my old drummers from Berlin, when we lived in
mhm,
Berlin, knows Reese quite well, and
mm.
so gave us kind of a, yeah, go for it. I was like, yeah, tell him it's a good idea.
Nice, nice. Definitely worked out. The album is blistering from start to finish. And just sort of as was your performance that I caught. Just to sort of revisit that really quickly, like it kind of blows my mind a little bit that you have gone from singing into a microphone for the first time to having such presence and seeming so comfortable doing it, I guess. I'm assuming that's just a thing that came with practice, or did you sort of feel like you came naturally to it?
I don't know. I was a ballerina for years, for
Hmm.
about 10 years, point and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that kind of actually probably made me comfortable on the stage, but for me, the performance
Hmm.
becomes kind of a ritual and I really want people to feel. And it's the one moment when I started doing where I felt like I was actually free for the first time in life. There were no other thoughts, there was no other things. It was this moment right now
Hmm.
and to give this to the audience. So I really personally enjoy performing. And after it's done, then you're like, oh my God, it's done. But
Hmm.
then obviously I've been playing shows for a long time as well too. But I think it's just maybe it's natural. I'm not sure.
Sure. Getting used to it, I would imagine, at this point, after, playing a lot of shows. I caught the Easter Sunday show, and then you've played a bunch since then. What's the future look like for you? I know we are squeezing this in a very busy schedule. So I know that you've got like a bunch of other stuff coming up.
The soonest one is we're doing LA August 23rd. It's the
Hmm.
Dark Summer. It's a festival
Mm,
at the Terragram Ballroom. That's going to be amazing. Miss Bone's going to be there, Body of Light, Crow Jane. And then I head over to Europe and we're doing a festival in Germany, in
mm.
Nuremberg, where we get to headline that festival. So that'll be exciting. And that is September. I have to look it up. My brain can't remember.
It is.
And then I know while we're there, we're going over to the
Mm,
UK for the first time. And we're going to be playing Coventry and London. And for London, we get to open up for Lebanon, Hanover. So
mm,
that'll be amazing. And then, yeah, straight from that, I go into a festival in New Orleans.
Mm.
And then I know November 15th, we're playing LA again with Tassel and Lana Del Rey's. And December, we're going to be in Miami, playing a show in Miami with, oh my God, my brain. I haven't put that one up on the website, so my brain forgot exactly that one right
No
now. But
worries.
yeah, that, and then we're looking into scheduling stuff for March next year. We're going to try to do a full US tour as well.
Nice. That is quite the whirlwind of travel.
And
I
I also have a jewelry line that I do as well. And
Mhm.
so I'm doing a few markets here and there as well. And so I bring my jewelry as well when I can for March.
Gotcha. Yeah. I did get a chance to see some of your jewelry in person, though I did not get a chance to speak to you at the show. I don't know, up my own ass or whatever. I don't know. But
There's always a lot going on.
yeah, exactly. I'm always like, oh, say hey to this person. And then just, can people disappear and you wander around,
Yep.
whatever. But your jewelry, it was, lovely to behold and, a thing that you are still squeezing time in for. How long have you been doing that? Like making jewelry?
I've been making jewelry actually for a really long time, but I really wasn't selling it. It was a form of my meditation. And what I do for the jewelry is it's all recycled. So it's
Mm,
all found objects mixed with crystal pieces. It can be absolutely from trash on the ground to broken things. And I would make pieces and give it to people who needed some kind of energy or power or something. And
mm,
then recently, I just started doing it more and selling it at shows because people were asking for it. And then I've been taking it out on the road. It's called Ruin to Rune and been doing a lot of these oddity markets. And it's been amazing because it's another way to also connect with people. Like each piece has a story and to see who
mm.
it finds and who it gives a new life to. And at least I feel like I'm helping the landfill instead of like adding to it.
Sure, sure. No, that makes sense. And that's the thing that I can deeply appreciate. I'm a big fan of like sort of things being repurposed or given a new life or I get very romantic about like the idiosyncrasies of life and sort of objects
Mhm.
ending up in places. That's definitely a thing that I can appreciate about your the jewelry that you craft, especially when you say that it has a story. The idea of this object has its own background before it came to you.
Yeah, I'll collect things all through my travels and like
Mhm,
what I'll find on the stage, on tours. I've even gone, like, I do a lot of nature and I love nature and hiking and stuff.
mhm,
And we've lived out with nature. So all the feathers, the bones, I collect everything. And
mhm.
people will give me things. Some of it will be like a broken jewelry piece when I was performing that fell off. And I'm like, oh, now this can be, something else.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's a really cool thing to do. So you mentioned going into nature. How often are you able to do that? I mean, it seems like between making jewelry, making music, and still finding the time to make really fantastic art and everything. I mean, you are a very busy sort of a person. It seems.
Well, we live right now
Mm,
over in Loomis, which is outside of Sacramento, and there we live in a trailer. So I'm surrounded more with nature, which is amazing.
mm,
And I will go to the parks whenever I can. And for a while, I was living over outside of Ventura, and we were living on an amazing campground, and we had
mm,
peacocks and rivers, and it was just incredible. And usually when I travel, like whether it's tour or something like that, we always try to go to some kind of nature find if we can,
mm.
or when I film videos and stuff. But lately I haven't been there with the crazy heat that's been going on. But
Oh.
I always try to get out to nature all the time, whether it's just to hug a tree.
Yeah, just where you can. It's the
Yes.
sort of a thing. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Lucky you for not having been here. It was dreadful for days, but it's fine. That's why there's air conditioning or whatever. Okay. So nature. You're fantastic. Fabulously busy. You were in the process of doing a thing today as well. Can you talk about like what you feel like is coming next for you? I mean, you gave me this list of dates of like, here's shows and a whirlwind of
Yeah.
your life that you're going to be going on. But for you personally, what's the next big thing that you have sort of brewing and planning?
I'm also like I always work on like collaborations. That's what I was doing today, doing some vocals for Devil in the Universe
Mm,
for their new album. So things like that are always happening. For Bestial, we're working on some new cover songs,
mm,
which I'm actually really excited because we've picked some stuff that really means something from my past,
mm,
and I've really connected with. So I'm excited to kind of do that. And
mm,
in the past, I was always kind of like, I'm not sure about covers, which we've done a few for like tribute albums,
mm,
but I feel like it's kind of a good homage and like to them, especially because I would love to do a Soft Moon one.
mm,
I've always been a huge fan, and Lewis's passing was really hard, so I would love to pay homage in that way. And then we're also looking at the new, album for us as well,
mm,
talking with Rhys about it as well. And then personally for me, we are in the process of moving. My
mm,
partner is a lineman, so we follow the money and the job and everything. So
mm,
we're in the process of moving the trailer. And eventually, I think we might end up in New Mexico. We have some ideas there, and
mm.
we'd love to start like some kind of community outreach, and also continue rescuing animals.
Oh, you rescue animals in addition
Oh
to all of your other things that things that you do.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's my reason for being our animals for sure. I've worked at a doggy
mm,
daycare training school. I've been when I lived in New York, I was rescuing, and
mm.
at one point I think I had like 8 fosters and I've had 3 dogs.
Wow.
We have 2 at the moment. That one is definitely we just rescued from someone's yard because they were abusing her. But
Mm,
we'd really love to try to do some kind of rescue where you take the elderly dogs from shelters so they have somewhere to pass and someone to be with on their last days.
mm. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. First off, like not every human is so good or well intentioned. I'm grateful as a dog owner and somebody who, my current dog, Sugar is a rescue, was,
Oh,
bred twice and owner surrendered. But,
yeah.
she has lived very long, happy days and has wanted for nothing for most of them ever since coming into our care. So,
Oh,
um,
they're the best.
yeah, absolutely. Wonderful thing
I
that you do.
I could talk for hours and hours on animals if anyone gets me started. I have so many stories. They're the best things ever.
Yeah. Have you always just like had a fondness for animals? Did you grow up around animals and things like
You
that?
know, I did not. We didn't have any. I think we had a cat or two, but my family wasn't, like into animals so much or had a lot of experience with them. I
Sure.
didn't, grow up around a farm or anything like that. But
Mm,
yeah, just when I was like in my, like I'd always thought I wanted a dog and I just was like, I love dogs. And then I started working with a shelter, I think around like 20. And I remember telling my family, and they're like, what? And
mhm,
everyone thought I was crazy. And that's was like, this is what I want to do. Like, animals are the best. And
mhm.
I love birds and I just love them all.
I I can tell your enthusiasm for it really shows. But I also didn't really grow up around animals or anything either. I didn't get a dog. I wanted a dog, but didn't get one until much later in life, and just fell so in love. But yeah, owning an animal is like I feel like everybody should do it once. I mean,
Yes.
it's going to
Yes.
teach you a lot of things,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you are enrolling in this relationship and signing up for something the good and the bad.
Yep.
Um, so
It is like that's what I do. A lot of people too, talk about it. I'm like, well, it's a huge responsibility, so you've got to wait till you can do that. And,
yes,
I also suggest fostering so you can learn about the animal before you get it. And sometimes the right one finds you, and then sometimes it's a great animal, but it's not the right one for you.
right,
So yeah.
yeah, 100%. So you want to after the move, you intend to try and do more of that and make more time for that.
That's what we hope. My thing is, I have really bad allergies and I am
Mm,
allergic to animals really bad. So I
uh,
actually was going to be like working full time with them all the time. And I was so sick and it took forever. And like they were thinking, like, you might even have cancer because my immune system gets so bad. So it's a hard thing for me to do full time.
I see.
So we just have to kind of, yeah, I'm like, I need a hazmat suit. So, I mean, I still have my 2 and I keep them really clean. So I have to be I don't know if I could would have like a full farm of them, but we'll figure it out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you'll make it work, based on your love for it. I mean, however it takes.
Yeah, so I do a lot of stuff like
Mm,
with cats. I'm really allergic to them, but I do a lot of this capture where you spay and neuter them and then set them free. So I do a lot of that kind of stuff as well.
that's pretty cool. Well, you are, you just have so many layers of things you got going on and things that you do. What do you want your music to, just to sort of touch on this one last time, and then I feel like, your sort of music kind of speaks for itself, but just, is there anything in particular that you sort of hope becomes of it?
With my music, I never sought out to really, for say, like make music. We're not trying to create like a specific genre. It's
Sure.
more about an experience and an artwork. And just to me, as people in life lives and grows, so does the music. So
Mm,
what I really try to do is just to reach people, through the stuff I talk about, through the experiences, and even in the performance, it's kind of like
mm,
a ritual or a tribal thing. And a lot of the lyrics are kind of more vague, and I do that so everyone can hear them and attach to them in certain ways. So for me, I really just want to reach people and
mm,
inspire them, especially women. I know I'm a female and a minority, so I really just want to empower people to have that strength and just kind of, I've been told lots of times, like, why don't you sing like this? Why don't you do this? Been held back by a lot of things, and just be you and just have power,
mm.
and that we're all humans, we're all in this, we've all had similar experience. So that's really what I try to do, hopefully, through all of the art,
Yeah.
just to connect.
Yeah, a very noble goal, I feel. Good answer. I did want to touch on like the content, while vague, is at times very dark, very heavy. It is quite a sort of very, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, sort of a very sort of gloomy at time, but still so empowering in others. It's just got this, and I really like the fact that you touch upon like sort of ritualistic or tribalistic sort of qualities, because it definitely comes across so often. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to like blow you up again or anything, but I just. It's been so nice to sort of find. It's been like a fresh take. Like you said, it's not out to sort of break, make a new genre or anything, but it is an iteration on a thing that feels fresh, I guess.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, so I think a
Mm,
lot of the tribal element definitely comes from the rhythmic stuff and like the Taino Indians. And my
mm,
parents we always had parties and loved music. So definitely with that, a lot of the times is in the past I'm very political. So we would also tell like tragic stories, of other people's that people didn't know. And through the years, I've started to tell my story. Within
mm,
the last three albums, I went through a divorce, and we've had a I've had a lot of stuff happen. So
mm,
it's kind of telling my story through that and connecting with everyone through that and not being ashamed of it and trying to find it and just exhausted,
mm,
like one of the songs, SLITSKIN is a play on I'm exhausted. I can't take anymore. I can't take anything from anybody. Like my skin is just, rupturing. There's a break there, but it's also a play like I'm in my skin. I found my skin. I
mm.
found who I am. So there's a lot of play on that because that's just what life is.
Sure.
It's
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Just taking a step back really quick too, because you mentioned running into issues with just by being an artist that's a woman. What can you just talk a little bit about that? Do you feel like that is a thing that I would hope it's getting better, but I'm not the person experiencing it. So do you feel like it is, or do you think it has?
I definitely feel like it has. And I definitely think there's more awareness of it, definitely from then when I first started. And because when I first started, I felt there wasn't really a female community. And I was constantly around males who felt that everyone could tell me what to do and how to do it and everything. And now I feel like we're a community, there's empowerment. Of course, it's not perfect and it's not there yet. And it's something I think that we just have to keep fighting for. I really just believe we're all people. I don't really believe in genders. I'm
Sure.
just hoping society kind of stops with those
Mm,
and we can, I mean, we're all here for things. That's what I try to do.
yeah. Agreed. Okay. Very well said. Damn, you are giving these like very thoughtful and concise answers. You are just like,
Sorry.
no, it's perfectly fine. That is how it plays out sometimes. Just like, bam, you are just knocking them down. Okay. Well, I will ask you this then. Aside from all of the things that you have going on and all of your music, your art, your jewelry, and everything else, is there anything else to know about you as a facet of a human being, of a thing that you would want to disclose and say like, hey, this is also a thing I do and I do it for this reason and it's cool for this reason?
I should know something of that, but I mean, obviously that would go in like I make clothes and do things like that.
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing about me is that I'm really just super silly.
Okay.
I guess most people don't really expect that. Like one of my good friends and she always jokes that people always think that I look like I'm super put together and super posh and all these kind of things. And she's like, dude, she's like the first one in the dumpster with me. And she's like the silliest person ever.
Mhm.
I don't take anything too seriously. I know
Yeah.
people see the performance and I've had it before and then they'll talk to me. I'm like, what? No, I don't talk goss. I'm like just
Mhm.
really silly. I guess one of the things about me that's kind of profound is my oldest brother has cerebral
Mhm.
palsy and brain damage.
Mhm.
So I'm very involved also with like Special Olympics and things like that, and I guess caring for people in a way.
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of probably impacted maybe who I am a little bit too.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay. I will ask you kind of a heavy question because it seems that, you know, the running theme through a lot of what your answers that you've given and things that you've had to say is a theme of compassion, of reaching out and sharing experience and sort of relating to people. Do you feel that that drive in you, that compassion, has been used against you or has been a hindrance in your career?
Oh, yes, definitely, for sure. I will speak lots of times in lots of my songs about betrayal and hurt. And then also, wow, it's your fault. You should know this because I give lots of people chances because I can kind of understand. Like, I've had things that happened to me in the past, and, people are growing and people can evolve. So I give lots of chances. And then I get hurt because people take it out on me or they aren't better or, they don't have good intention. So,
Mm.
yeah, I have actually been backstabbed quite a bit because of it as well. So it becomes a hard thing to decide. Well, do you decide that you want to just be jaded and not let people in? Finding that boundary of where do you protect yourself and where do you continue to be open. So that is a thing that I consistently work with as well. So there's times where I'm just exhausted and I've been told I'm kind of an empath, which I believe. So there's times where I don't look at people, you don't see me doing stuff like that because I just can't anymore. I'm just exhausted and I can't bring it in because I need to focus on me. But yeah, it's definitely been a hindrance for sure because there's times where maybe I should have done something, but I felt that it wasn't a fair role to take. So I
Hmm.
didn't do it, but I'm like, oh, I probably should have just played that show or, done that thing,
Sure.
But for me, I just try to look at it because in the end, I just have to live with myself. So I just try to do it in that aspect.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that's smart. I mean, that's all any of us can do, I feel like, is just sort of take note of, where people are, maybe. I mean, I'm a very empathetic person myself, and I try to meet people where they're at. But I have found that some people you maybe don't want to meet them where they're at, or they're in a place that they are is temporary for them, and
Yep.
is maybe not. It's not healthy for the two of you to interact. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
I've had to do that at times too, where I wish you well. I really do, but it's not healthy for me to be in this situation. And
Mhm.
I'm not helping you either. I'm just enabling you. So, you need to figure it out. And I need to go this way.
Yeah, yeah, that's understandable. Not easy things to do, especially as, a fellow person who sort of is I regard myself as compassionate as well of, even the stepping away has that sort of
Mhm.
moment of guilt of
Yep.
like, oh, I am leaving you to your own devices maybe. And, all I can do is wish and hope that it turns out okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of anxiety from things like that and
Mm,
making the correct decisions, and I worry about hurting other people's feelings, so that becomes part of it too. So
yeah.
definitely something my therapist hears a lot of.
Yeah, understandable. Well, we're not trying to turn this into therapy. So I will go ahead and, because I know you have had a busy day and a busy schedule and everything. So I will go ahead and keep this one pretty short and hit you with the last question of the show, which is just what is something that you have been enjoying recently? And your answer can be anything, a movie, a book, a TV show, just what's something that you're jazzed about. Extra component to that, is there something you've heard recently, like music that like a new artist or a new band or a new song that just like has lit your world up?
So the thing I've been into lately, which is surprising because I used to really be into cooking
Mm.
and I'd love to make everything from scratch and like do like parties for people. And then I completely got over it and I was like, no. And then I cannot. Don't even look at me like I literally eat all the pieces apart.
Was there
But
like
then
a single experience that made you just go like, oh no, never again?
I think I just got busy. It just got tired and was like,
Okay,
yeah, it became more stressful than fun, you know?
gotcha.
And then, but recently, because my partner's job, they don't have a fridge, they don't know where they're going to be or anything like that. I've been trying to make food for him, but
Hmm.
and it's not some like culinary thing, but it's been like, okay, we're not going to have a fridge. And then he doesn't like this and he doesn't like that. So figuring out like the meals to do and how to do them. And I
Yeah.
feel like I finally perfected them. That's
Hmm.
been like my little joy or whatever. It's like, okay, see, that one was the salty one this time, or that one was the spicy one.
Hmm.
So that's been kind of interesting for me. Let's see, music wise, there's so
Can
much
I
good stuff.
Can I
Yeah,
pump the brakes really quick? I have a follow-up
yeah.
question. What have you ended up been making for somebody going out to, not having a refrigerator available? I'm imagining like a lot of jerky, a lot of like trail mix kind of stuff, but
Well, the thing is too, it's like I am vegan, he's not, but he doesn't really like to eat meat, and then he likes different things. So the three things that have worked really well and I can make different versions.
mhm.
Luckily he doesn't get tired of eating the same thing, is like some kind of pasta salad, potato salad, and I will do tuna fish for him. I will touch that one for him. So I've been making those, but I jazz them up differently, like
Mhm.
just different flavors in it and things like that too. So I know
Uh,
it's not that exciting, but
no, it's was there an exciting answer that I could have gotten? I guess I don't really know. The tuna that you buy, this is unrelated, just for my own curiosity. Is it packed in water or packed in oil?
we buy the packed in water. We're
Okay.
really specific about doing environmental stuff. Like
Mm,
we try to use as less as we can of everything. And even though he does eat meat, it's very rare that that he does. So he
mm.
buys the one in water. I think he specially orders this one after doing a whole bunch of research and stuff.
Okay. Just curious. I don't know. Tuna packed in oil is like extra gross to me. I don't know why. That was why I was curious.
No.
Sorry, just weird quirk. Great. But, so aside from, you said you were going to talk about music next, and like, was there something in particular that has stood out to you recently?
Yeah, I really have just a vague answer on that, unfortunately.
That's okay.
I don't listen to as much music as people think I do, probably,
Hmm.
because it becomes kind of like people who work in film and things like that too. And it even happens to me since I've done photo shoots and did costume design on movies, is that it becomes work. I start listening to
Hmm.
like, how did they record that? How did they sing that? Oh, that was a cool thing of that. So I tend to listen to a lot of NPR and just put it on randomly so I can hear about, like recently I was learning about fires and everything about it.
Hmm.
But I've been going to a lot of older stuff lately just because we were looking at the idea of doing covers.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I've been at. And I've been DJing lately. And when I
Hmm.
do that, I try to I'm not like some great mix master or anything like that. But
Sure.
a lot of times, what will happen is people, will ask us to perform and we can't, unfortunately. So then I love to be involved in DJ and then
Mm,
tailor it to I like to play contemporary stuff. So I'll,
Hmm.
find contemporary bands from all over the world, and my friends will send me music, and I get to play their stuff like that too. So that's super fun.
Yeah, that is fun, I would imagine. Yeah, good answer. And sort of similar to you, like I work around musicians a lot, so that it's like when I do have spare ear hole time, like I'm
Mhm.
not exactly going to be stoked to go putting like kind of the same flavor of whatever I've been listening to and working with in there, because I'm going to be looking for something fresh, something else.
I
So,
warn people when they travel with me too, like, I'm like, hey, just let you know, like, I don't really have music on my phone,
mm,
and I usually drive in silence. My brain just thinks, but I'm like, but you can play whatever you want to play. That's totally great. Like, that doesn't bother me, but
mhm.
I'm just letting you know if you're expecting me to be like, hey, there's some cool stuff happening.
No, totally understandable. I driving in silence. Oh, I think I'd have a psychotic break if I tried to do that for too long. That sounds
I will
terrible.
drive 6, 7 hours in just silence. I don't even notice it because my brain is, I think, always running,
Oh
which
my
is
goodness.
also another thing.
Wow, fascinating. Okay. So just to, I always answer the question myself. So musically, just something. What the fuck have I been into lately? Aside from listening to your catalog. Damn, there was something that stuck out. Oh, I've been really hooked on this artist, Monomort. It's
Ooh.
like industrial, bassy witch house kind of stuff. Like
Ooh.
it'll
I feel
go.
like a lot of the witch house stuff is kind of coming back, which I love.
Yeah, I like that stuff. It's really fun and really cool. And then aside from that, the other thing I've been really enjoying lately is just being busy, doing void signal stuff. I've had interviews like almost every single day for a few days now. I had Jet from Vampire Freaks yesterday, and that went really well, and was found out it listens to the show. That was a really good feeling, to sort of
Awesome.
interact with somebody outside your bubble that's like, oh, I have heard a thing you did or whatever.
Yeah,
So
you're like, okay, that's kind of the thing with I do stuff too. It's
yeah.
just, there's days where you feel like you just want to give up, and then you'll just get one message from somebody and you're like, oh, I've reached somebody. Okay,
Hmm.
and especially for, artists and musicians, people who do podcasts and interviews and stuff, like you mean the world to us. It's,
Hmm.
taking the time to talk to us personally about stuff and just, help facilitate getting our music out there, and just, yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, no, it is not. But it has been worth it overall, and it is a thing I love. And here's my attempt at getting closer to it in a way that makes sense for me, I guess. So
Hmm.
yeah. But thank you very much for saying that. Much appreciated. Okay, I will let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for letting me steal some of your time and bring you on the show and gush fondly over over your music.
I was like, good thing you can't see me because I'm like super like, oh, really? I'm actually kind of shy, so phone makes me really nervous. I'm like, I can do this.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for doing it. I really do appreciate it. I try to keep it as casual and as easy as possible, but yeah, all right. I will let you go. Thank you again so much, and I look forward to catching a show of yours at some point in the future. And yeah, I hope to speak to you again, and I wish you the very best.
Well, I wish you the same, and hopefully, yeah, let me know. Let's stay in touch.
Okay. All right. Take
Okay,
care. Have a good night.
bye.
Bye.
Void Signal intro and outro courtesy of Processor. Visit processor2.bandcamp.com for more Processor, and visit voidsignal.net to help support the creation of more Void Signal. Stay safe, stay loud.